Scorpio, stop for 5 seconds. Not because you should be afraid, but because your intuition is trying to flag something before your heart gets involved. There is a woman getting close to you, and on the surface, she may seem harmless, even comforting. But something about her energy is off. No lu. No upf. Not the kind of red flag people talk about online. This is subtler than that. It's the kind of off that you feel in your body before you can prove it in your mind. A slight tightening in your chest when she smiles. A strange fog after you talk to her. A sense that you're being pulled, gently, toward a story you didn't choose. And that is exactly why you, Scorpio, must move with awareness. Because she won't approach you directly. She won't chase. She won't demand. She knows your nature. She knows you notice everything. So she will enter your world like a coincidence, like the universe casually placed you in the same room. The same timeline, the same conversation. It could happen in the coming weeks through a mutual connection. A message, a comment, a business setting, a social event, or even a place you regularly go. On dit wil film out, Scorpio's nav destiny. Sometimes it's just chemistry meeting curiosity. And sometimes it's an old pattern meeting a new face. Let's be clear, this is not a message to turn you paranoid. This is not a message to make you accuse anyone or live with suspicion. This is a message to sharpen your discernment, because the real danger here is not her. It's what her energy awakens in you. She may not be evil. She may not even be intentional. But she carries an unintegrated intensity and emotional hunger dressed in charm, mystery, and softness. And she has a gift, whether she knows it or not, for creating a fog around her. A fog that makes you second-guess what you saw clearly just a moment ago. When she gets close, you may notice she mirrors you. Not in an obvious way, but in the way she listens, responds, reflects your language back to you, echoes your depth. She will make you feel understood quickly to quickly. Conversations may go from casual to intimate with unnatural speed. She may share something personal early on, not necessarily as manipulation, but as a subconscious strategy to bond. And Scorpio, you are built for depth. You crave realness. So when someone offers you a shortcut into intimacy, it can feel like relief. Like finally, someone speaks your language. But beware of intensity that skips the foundation. Because what feels like fate can also be the nervous system reacting to mystery, validation, and emotional tension. That tension is addictive. It creates loops. You'll find yourself thinking about her more than you planned. You'll replay her words. You'll look for signs. You'll want another interaction just to feel the charge again. And she may unconsciously feed that by alternating warmth and distance, being very present one day, then strangely unavailable the next. Not always on purpose. Often because she herself doesn't have emotional consistency. But inconsistency can hook the Scorpio mind like a hidden spell, because you want to solve it. You want to understand. You want to see what's behind the mask. And that's where the off energy becomes a real test. This woman might arrive as romance. For some of you, she feel like a magnetic pull, something you can't explain. Something that makes your instincts flare into directions at once, attraction and caution. For others, she appears as a friend who feels unusually aligned with you, like she gets it when no one else does. For others, It's professional, a partnership, an opportunity, a project, a collaboration that sounds exciting and strangely timed. But regardless of the form, her presence has one main effect. She activates something dormant in you. Something unresolved. Something deep. If you were born in the earlier part of Scorpio season, this connection may feel like a mirror of your shadow, your extrêmement, your control, your protective instincts, the parts of you that love intensity because it feels like truth. If you were born mid-season, she may catalyze transformation, forcing choices you've been postponing, pushing you to confront what you've been tolerating. And if you were born toward the end of Scorpio season, she can become a portal, teaching you something sharp about connection, boundaries, and what real intimacy actually requires. Différents Scorpio d'expressions. Same underlying lesson. Can you stay clear while your emotions are being pulled? Because here's the key warning. When she gets close, it may feel like you've known her forever. Like she fits into an empty space you didn't admit existed. Like she sees you. On Scorpio, the danger is not the feeling. The danger is what you do with the feeling. The danger is confusing resonance for readiness, chemistry for compatibility, intensity for health. What's off about her energy may show up as contradictions. Her words are deep, but her actions are unclear. She speaks of honesty, yet avoids direct questions. She wants closeness, yet disappears when it gets real. She praises your strength, but subtly needs you to prove it again and again. You may sense she's watching you, studying you, figuring out what pulls you closer. She might not even realize she's doing it. Some people become experts at reading others because they spent their whole life trying to survive emotionally. They learned how to bond fast, how to create closeness, how to feel safe through attachment. And Scorpio, your energy is powerful. It draws people who want transformation and people who want refuge. Sometimes those two look identical at first. So what do? First, slow everything down. Not because you should reject her. Not because you should run. But because Scorpio's greatest power is choice. When you move too fast, you are not choosing, you are being pulled. And if there is fog around her energy, speed will only thicken it. Let your body settle. Keep your routines. Stay connected to your life. If her presence is healthy, it will integrate into your world without demanding you abandon yourself. Second, watch the aftertaste. Scorpio, you are sensitive in a way that most people misunderstand. You can detect the energetic residue of interactions. So after you talk to her, ask yourself, do I feel clearer? Or cloudier? Do I feel empowered or slightly off balance? Dit au premier fil calme les restes. Sometimes the truth is not in the conversation itself, but in what remains in you after it ends. Healthy connections leave you more yourself. Unhealthy ones leave you scanning, wondering, replaying, craving, chasing clarity like it's a prize. Third, observe whether she respects your boundaries without punishing you for having them. If you take space, does she honor it? Or does she create subtle guilt? If you move slowly, does she stay steady? Or does she intensify to pull you back in? If you ask for clarity, does she give it? Or does she deflect and charm? Scorpio, you don't need to interrogate her. You don't need to accuse. Juste watch. Patterns confess what words hide. Now, here is the part that may hit deeper than you expected. This woman is also symbolic. In many timelines, the off energy you sense in another person is the universe reflecting an unintegrated part of your own psyche. Not because you are to blame, and not because you are attracting bad people, but because your soul evolves through mirrors. If she feels inconsistent, it may be showing you where you still confuse intensity with love. If she feels mysterious and inaccessible, it may be reflecting the ways you protect your heart by staying unreadable. If she feels emotionally hungry, it may be revealing where you still seek validation through being needed. This isn't a judgment. It's an invitation. Because Scorpio, you are reaching a new level of mastery. Many of you have been through cycles attachments that drained you, dynamics that consumed you, connections that felt faded but left you exhausted. And now, the universe is asking, have you learned the lesson, or will you repeat the pattern with a new face? That's why this feels urgent. Not dramatic urgent, in the way a compass is urgent when you're in fog. You don't panic. You just need direction. When she arrives, you might experience a moment of recognition. A look that feels charged. A synchronicity that makes you pause. A sentence she says that lands too perfectly. Your body may respond, racing heart, warmth, tingling, heightened focus. And after that, she may occupy your mind. You may find yourself checking your phone, looking for her name, waiting for the next interaction. That doesn't mean she's the one. It means your reward system is activated. Mystery plus validation plus intensity is a powerful cocktail for the brain. And Scorpio, you are built to go deep. So the test becomes, can you go deep without losing your clarity? If this connection is healthy, depth will feel grounded. You will feel seen without feeling hooked. You will feel close without feeling unstable. You will feel desire without feeling like you're losing yourself. But if something is off, you'll feel the pull and the unease together. Like your intuition is tapping your shoulder while your emotions are reaching forward. And that's the moment. You must honor the wiser voice. Here's a practical way to keep your power. Ask yourself 3 questions every time the energy intensifies. What part of me is responding right now, my healed self or my hunger? What am I imagining about her that I haven't confirmed? And if she disappeared tomorrow, what would I be missing her, or the feeling she triggered in me? These questions cut through fog like a blade. Also, do not isolate for her. If you find yourself abandoning friends, skipping commitments, dropping goals, changing your routines just to keep the connection alive, pause. That's not devotion. That's absorption. Healthy relationships expand your life. Unhealthy ones shrink it until the relationship becomes the whole universe. Now listen carefully, because this part matters. You don't have to label her as bad. You don't have to turn her into a villain to protect yourself. She may be a good person with unhealed patterns. She may be someone who genuinely likes you, but doesn't know how to connect without creating intensity. She may be drawn to your power because she feels powerless in herself. And Scorpio, you can have compassion without handing over the keys to your nervous system. You can be kind without becoming responsible for someone's wounds. If you choose to explore, do it consciously. Keep your pace. Keep your standards. Keep your boundaries. Let time reveal truth. Let consistency speak louder than chemistry. If she is meant for you, in a healthy way, she will not demand that you sacrifice clarity to keep her close. And yes, I also want to prepare you for the possibility that you will ignore this warning. Some Scorpios learn through fire, through immersion, through experience that burns wisdom into the bones. If your soul chooses that path, do it with open eyes. Don't tell yourself you were powerless. Don't pretend you didn't feel the fog. Walk in knowingly, because awareness is what keeps you sovereign, even in chaos. But the highest Scorpio path, the path of mastery, is this. You stop confusing intensity with inevitability. You stop giving sacred meaning to what is simply familiar. You stop being hypnotized by emotional extremes. You choose steadiness. You choose clarity. You choose the kind of connection that doesn't require you to lose yourself to prove it's real. And when you do, everything changes. You begin to attract different people. People who don't need your intensity to feel alive. People who don't treat your depth like a drug. People who meet at you with consistency, not confusion. When you stop vibrating at the frequency of need, you start vibrating at the frequency of wholeness. And wholeness attracts wholeness. So in the coming weeks, Scorpio, pay attention. Know with fear. With quiet awareness. Notice how you react around certain women. Notice who makes you feel grounded. Notice who makes you feel foggy. Notice who respects your pace. Notice who tries to pull you faster than your spirit wants to move. Your intuition is not there to ruin your love story. It is there to protect your evolution. And as you move through this, remember something simple and sacred. You don't need to identify her before she reveals herself. Donne le temps. Don't obsess. Don't become paranoid. Live your life, but awake. When moments you will know. Scorpio, instinct doesn't fail when you're honest with yourself. This narrative is a mirror, a reflection of a potential timeline. A story whispered into the universe, for the souls meant to hear it, and you are always free to take what resonates and leave the rest. Because not every message is for every Scorpio, and not every connection is meant to be pursued. And nothing here is meant to replace your real-world judgment, your lived experience, or professional guidance when needed. It is simply an invitation to return to your inner compass, to choose clarity over compulsion, to choose wisdom over fantasy, and to remember no matter who approaches you, no matter how magnetic the pull, she has no power over you except the power you hand over unconsciously, and your true destiny has never depended on a stranger's energy, only on your ability to stay aligned with your own.